I'm live. Let's see how well this works. Don't mind me, folks. Just trying to get this to work. Trying to get using my laptop here, so don't mind me. Just trying to find the right. I think this is gonna be okay. Kind of like that. There we go. I hope everyone's doing okay. Let me grab a seat, make myself at home. Hello, everyone. Hope everyone's doing okay tonight. Just going live here. We've had some rough weather, so I've been feeling story of my life locked in blizzard again. I don't know if you see that behind me here, my window. See, the snow's up almost all the way to the top. I only see like 1 foot out of it. My door can't even get out. So it's like one blizzard after another here. So luckily my apartment, I love it, by the way, folks. You know why? Because I've got literally the best view in all of these apartments right here. So I'm very proud of having the best view. So it's the best outside view. So I see people in Minnesota with the storm going, oh my goodness, we got 3 feet of snow. Well, yeah, it's pretty bad here, right? Where my whole window is basically covered. And the ground accumulation right now is at about 6 feet, not snowbanks, but out in the field. It's over my clothesline. So people's pets are actually going on the roofs because they can climb. It's pretty ironic. So, yeah, these blizzards are crazy, and the wind and the cold can't do basic stuff. You got to plan your grocery trips. It's nuts. Or dig yourself a tunnel. And on the bright side, the electricity didn't go out. That would be very, very bad. I don't have a working generator here on the site. You know why? I fried all my batteries. So I got to buy a new storage device. So I'm thinking supercapacitors because I'm tired of leaky batteries splitting up and everything, right? That acid, oh my goodness. So I guess it's working because I'm seeing people are typing stuff. Again, I can't read anything from here. That's the stupid thing. Small screen here. It's just a laptop. So I see my preview, but I guess I'll have to read the chat windows a little later from time to time here. Or I could load it up on another window, on another computer, maybe behind me. Kind of looks silly doing that, but it works. If I could load YouTube on this one here. YouTube. I should be able to find my live stream. Oh my goodness, I'm not even signed in on this one. Nah, not a good idea. Not gonna do that. That's okay. Let's see if I get too close here. Hello, Joel. Hello, everyone. Hello, how is everyone? I'm just reading the chats here. Don't mind me. It's very hard to interact and be my own moderator here while running the stream and everything here. So, like, totally unscripted, just going live. It was just not so much planned stuff, just getting, feeling closed in, let's just say. So, going online is a way of feeling less, I guess, alone in this aspect. And it's a weird thing, right? Sometimes this kind of weather, it makes you, I don't know. It's like fake depression is what I'd like to call it. Not so much seasonal disorder, because seasonal disorder would be like long term, but it's like when you get a blizzard like this, right? For like 2-3 days, it's like any normal person is like, you don't want to do anything. You don't even want to get up because you know you can't go anywhere. So with that said, it's like I don't have motivation to work on stuff, to do experiments. And it's like, just get this snow out of my face. But now we're getting closer to spring. So hopefully even here in Northern Ontario, once I get to see my view again from the window, it's not all snow. I'll be able to maybe sit out there one day again. So yeah, how things are going with the company. It's going, I guess, as good as commercial stuff goes. It's definitely not in the style of Bedini, right? Where he had one lab and everybody worked together in that one lab as happy friends. Our company, we're all individual, we're all around the world, and we all have our specific task, and we do that and we sync up once a week. And that's how it goes. But with that, personally, I miss the hands-on lab aspect of it. So not that there's anything wrong with it. I mean, I'm happy with my part for what it is, but personally, I have my hobbies, and I'd like to support those too in my interests. And for the time being, anyways, I still end up with time that I could use for myself, and nothing stops me from going to the. I didn't really want to do this, right? Just going back to the basics, Bedini stuff, whatever. Then people said, you know what? Why not? Others do it, so you know. And of course, talking about public domain stuff isn't going to get me in trouble, demonstrating it either, because others have, but it could help people out. But, you know, I've been doing a lot of experiments over the last 10 years, and everything I have is all scattered around. So I gotta like, or some of it is half built, you know, I moved on to another experiment and it's just a Frankenstein of something. So I have to, so essentially I like to build a very basic, I guess, I don't know, resonance system or Don Smith or something. Just I don't know, maybe just to interact, to show the wave on the scope, just to show people this is what it's supposed to look like. You know, just going back to the basics. But again, I lack the shop, and this is what the issue is. Is this stuff here even to demonstrate? Without the shop, it's difficult to show resonance when you don't have all the tuning tools. It gets difficult when I don't have the scopes at the frequency ranges I'd like and the high frequencies. It's difficult when I don't have a curve tracer to show you some things, right? So a lot of this you would need, and maybe if I had a garage or something at the very least, but I don't. All I have is my apartment, and there's only so much I can do in here. But I guess I enjoy challenge, right? So it's always trying to retrofit ideas. How can you go practical? How can you do something that may not require, you know, a university lab to get some half decent results? So to me, that's going back to the basics where you don't need exotic materials and 3D printers and nanoscale precision, right? A person. So I tend to get ahead of myself with the company because that's my job and that's what I'm focused on and it's where we're at, but not practical for everyday people right now. Because even if I were to tell you what we're working on, no one has that kind of equipment. We don't even have that kind of equipment. That's the irony. It's being contracted out to people who do. And they all have signed non-disclosure agreements, so they don't talk about the parts of what they're doing. It's really weird. Not really weird, but I guess it's smart. It's like how the US military does it. Everyone does their little thing. And, you know, one doesn't necessarily talk to the other. But as chief engineer, I'm the one who obviously knows that puts it all together at the end. But I guess one day, I don't know what we're going to do, but we're going to need an assembly somewhere to test the stuff. I assume that's going to be somewhere around the Bay Area in California. At that point, I'm going to try to move to the United States if we're still around. Lots of ifs, right? The world, right? It's all what ifs, what ifs. So I'm just thinking, so don't mind me. I'm just, like I said, it's one of those nights. Just looking at some coils here. I've got a platform. I want to build this. Again, not too sure what have an idea. I just want to like be able to show something on the scope that makes sense, right? That's clean. At least maybe able to have something on the base here, have some series, learning, a little mini learning. There's resonance, but again, I don't want to start showing that stuff when I don't have the equipment. I could do like Tesla, put a little speaker nearby and just listen. But what I've done is magnet vibrates near strongest vibration, but those are really, really, I like to see the real pictures on the equipment, especially if you're measuring stuff like, BH curves and or playing around with cores and that kind of thing. There's equipment for all that, but just not here in my house. Yeah, so now I've got a whole bunch of these. I've been collecting these for like ages. And I'm going to count how many turns on here. I'm going to split it. So I guess cut 3 or 4 in the middle. So that's going to be L1, L2. And basically exactly what Don Smith has. But we just got to build it because none of it is really ready to use just like that, right? You have to modify the stuff a little bit. So I don't know how far I'm going to get with that tonight. I got to first of all, I got to calculate it. So I got to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44. 44, really? It has to be 44 and a half. Very Don Smith, 44 and a half. Never mind 44 or 45, 44 and a half. Yep, just make my life complicated, will you? 44 and a half. Let's divide that. Yeah. It's a precise number. 22.25, 22. I don't like this coil all of a sudden. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So literally right there, 22.5. Wow. It's going to be a weird cut. Oh, I'm not even, should have had some markers or something to. But yeah, so what I'm going to do. This is all wobbly. I see, there's a screw in here. Because you can mount it. Take the screw off of there. And I got to take off that base in the middle too, because I'm going to put a coil inside. The drive coil is going to go right in the middle. So now at least, yeah, it was the screw wobbling it like that. So, yep. I hope everyone is doing okay. Sorry about me, just rambling in my own little world here. Totally unscripted live. I've been struggling, for trying to find content that fits in this, because there's so much, I have like 300 and some videos, and it's all relatively. And again, I'm trying not to repeat myself. I want to have value to everything that I post out there as videos, anyways. Live, I find is not as bad, because you can be more like personal, like vlog style, right? So that there's no people understand when it's live. But when I pre-record stuff, I'd like to have a specific theme. This is, showing a resonant capacitive discharge or something, and then all on that. But just going live, it's like wherever it takes me. It would be nice to have people local here where I live too, like that's one thing I noticed with everyone in here. They're all like little groups. For example, Old Men Builds and a few others, they all have their little groups, right? So one helps another, or even in the same room building. And that's a common theme. With Bedini, he had his little group. Everyone has their little group. And I seem to be stuck all alone here. But a part of that is so north, I don't blame anyone. I guess in a good way, it shields me for all the trolls to come here and try and do me harm at the same time, because who's going to want to freeze at 40 below? Even the military wouldn't want to come here on special assignment, so never mind someone who's just jealous or something, right? Here I am drinking coffee, keeping warm. Keep looking at that snow up there. It's unreal. But yeah, at least I got a great view, the best view in town. So I would say let's get the show on the road. I'm going to be a moment, because I'm going to look for cutters, screwdrivers, and a few things. So you might hear me banging around in the lab room looking for stuff, but I'm here. So don't worry if it looks like I left the cam on. I did, but on purpose this time. On purpose. I will be back momentarily. So in the meantime, enjoy the ambience of my place. Thank you. All right. Screwdrivers. Not foofy or live. So, looking for screwdrivers. Oh my goodness, I have to clean things up. There's too much tools in one area. What have I found? Oh my goodness. Oh my coils. Oh. Oh my goodness, I've got enough stuff to build 10 Dawn Smiths. Look at this. I found this thing. I collect too much stuff, don't I? This box here is just dedicated to these kinds of RF chokes. All different values. You may recognize them from the Don Smith board. Different versions here. Very, very tiny ones here, because I wanted to get into the high frequency stuff. Still nice and packed. Oh, this is different too. Resistor, high power. I believe it's 100 watts. 100 watts, 25 or 50 ohms, I forget. This will probably need. Oh my goodness. It's almost perfect right here. But I probably won't need it. Probably won't need it. So, just enjoying my view. I enjoy my view several times a day. All right, so now I'm gonna look. I still haven't found everything I need here. Oh, where are all these things? Oh. So, yeah, I wish I had a personal lab. One day. So some tools. Hopefully these metal cutters are gonna be. That's pretty. Yeah, that should work. I got bigger ones. So what will we do? This is like totally unscripted even for me. Can you believe it? This is like totally unprofessional, by the way. But that's the difference between personal hobby versus professional, right? So I am thinking tuning it by hand that's flimsy though. Well, you know what? Something just occurred to me. I got this here, which can handle 1,500 volts, which might be exactly what I need, which is a tuning capacitor, variable, high voltage LC circuit. Because I find a hard time getting these variable, you're usually vacuum capacitors and a lot of money. So what I'm thinking about is don't need to probably use this coil, take it off, use the tuning capacitor. Because the issue I have, believe it or not, problem with high voltage, it looks easy, and it isn't. You need to charge high voltage capacitors real quick and discharge them really, really snappy. Sounds good on paper, but have you ever actually tried? Even the 1 UF microwave capacitor at 1,000 volts using the main, you might get 5-6 shots a second. I've tried it with my inverter, and I'm pumping like a couple amps, just keeping up with it. So, and then do the math, right? Put a very, very, very little capacitor in the NF range, snap it at 1,000 volts, and even though you have pure potential, it's not really enough. It'll light up an LED maybe. So this is where Don Smith, which was a bit misleading when he's saying, oh, 25 milliamps, 45 milliamps. I'll show you that right now. So here's an analog transformer here. And it says right on it. So it's for neons, but it's analog. So 60 hertz, believe it or not. So what happens here with this, it says it right on there, okay? And this is what Don Smith will tell you. He reads this line right here, you know, where it says the high voltage output at 30 mA. So 3,000 volts, 30 mA. Oh, it's peanuts. It's only 30 mA. Well, when you convert that, look, it says it right on there. 25 watts on the input side. So what I'm getting at is it's no zero current trigger, far from it. You need some wattage to be able to crank that potential in those capacitors real quick and be able to snap them. That's why Don Smith liked using the old style neon transformers, because they're tube, they're heavy duty, they're heavy current. So you are able to not only provide that 3K, but you know, if you look, it's a bit bigger than this, what he had. So you're taking a much more than 25 watts, more like 500 watts more, even 600 watts for what Don was actually running. So I guess, I mean, I think in a way that's why it's one of the simplest ones, because you use a lot of power, you get a lot of power, right? But you end up having a gain if you do it right. But that's all I'm saying. It's just out of the blue like that, you know. But it's just one of the things I noticed, and he's not very honest about that. He's very misleading when he goes 30 mA, 45 mA. Yeah, at the high voltage, convert it backwards, and you're pumping, you know, you might trip your breaker. So no wonder it's running a fridge and a cooler and everything. When you do the math, your input is like 600-700 watts, you know. So again, not making any major accusations or anything, just he kind of read it backwards. Because of course you see here, you know, milliamps. It could be deceiving if he doesn't specify what the voltage is. So that's my thing here. I'd like to reproduce, like, if I could, like, on a it makes sense scale, just to show. But one of the things I always struggle with at home anyways is finding the right capacitor for what I have to work with without shooting myself across the room. So I don't know, maybe call me sucker for trying again. I'm sure I can show something that, I mean, you look at the stuff from not just Don Smith, but earlier on, they had half the stuff we have today. So there has to be a way to simplify some of this stuff. Of course, I do the coax stuff that I like to do with the velocity factor, but that again, I need equipment to actually do that. It's not just, it looks good on paper, but there's more to it. Your cut is very precise. And the same thing with putting two coils together. There has to be a severe impedance mismatch to get that spike in between. Plus, you have to consider the dielectric, because the wave property, it's the dielectric also that determines the propagation speed of the wave. So yeah, you can do all those things. All gets complicated. Most people can't do that at home. So I've had several things I've done, but I wouldn't call anything at home commercial quality power. Yes, I've observed over unity, crudely speaking, up to 7 watts or so. My power cells, obviously, which run clocks and everything for months and months, and they don't corrode, no reduction in mass. That's all great. That's all open source. I did well way back with a Bedini system, 100-watt light bulb. People still ask me about that one. The trick there, I have to say, is multiple coils. That thing had, 4 coils inside of it. 4 coils gave you more mass and resonance of the battery, of course. But then everyone freaked out on the forums, right? I don't know if you remember all that. Oh, you're just killing your battery. It looks like over unity now, but you're gonna fry your battery. So I gave them the benefit of the doubt. You go, okay, no free lunch. But meanwhile, that battery that I'm talking about is the one that I said in the beginning that I finally. But that's like 7 years later, and I did all kinds of experiments with that thing, and it ran, and for a while I ran my place when there were power outages from the charge, and it would loop itself, and I had that Bedini, and everything else I did with it, and I showed a lot of experiments, and it was that same battery, and it lasted 7 years. So not bad for it kills the battery, right? I mean, I've had batteries in perfect health with no experiment that didn't even last half of that time. So considering, quote unquote, I was beating it up, not bad. So again, I don't have all the equipment to do the electrochemical analysis to tell you exactly how that went. But just from personal observations, I have to say there was some kind of a gain there for sure. But it was easy to dismiss it at first 7 years ago. Oh, you're destroying your battery. It's temporary. It's a chemical reaction. You're wearing it out. 7 years later. So yeah, that's another thing. Spikes. Something else I'd like to get, but I don't have like 10 coils. I need like 10 or 20 coils. Bedini said the same thing at the end. He came to the same conclusion. Pulls shitloads of coils all all in parallel, all with their isolating diodes. It hardly costs any more. He knew that with the batteries, you can charge 10 or 1. It's not proportional. It's not like 2 times more energy, 3 times. You do take more. It feels it, but it's not proportional. It's not a linear 1-to-1 kind of thing. So that's why the benefit comes in here. So multiple coils does the same thing. You get on the output side all in parallel into the same bus, gives you a lot more of a bang. And you want to do it smart. Block electron flow. NS, maybe, I can't tell you, everything's different, but generally, depending on your material, 20 NS or less. Switching, that's from start to finish for your spike. And that does usually a good job at blocking or highly limiting electron flow, so you can have your trigger and have that trigger 200 coils. You'll get power back. But who the heck has room for 200 coils to even do the freaking experiment on a hobby level, you know? So, yeah. So what was I here? So, yeah, multiple pathways to all of this. Oh, just thinking. It's already 11:24. Still, I guess because I had my coffee, all of a sudden it's like, I'm not tired. So a lot of fun stuff. But people run Bedini's all wrong. They try and the proper way of doing it, Bedini had the right idea, like, but he wasn't. He says charge 2 batteries, but at that point, charge 12. That's where you actually see the gain off of one Bedini, right? But he doesn't say those things very, very clearly. Or pulse like 100 coils with one trigger. Isolate them all with diodes. Direct the inductive kickback on one bus. Doesn't talk about. Actually, I think maybe what's his name? The sidekick. I call him the sidekick. Not a big fan of him. Rick, I think, hints at that. Probably because Bedini told them. Run 100 coils, one trigger. If you really want to go wacko, something probably even Rick won't tell you, vary all the sizes. That's purposely creating impedance mismatches between all of them. If you're going to go nuts, go nuts. Like, go totally out. And this kind of stuff, that's where all the gains come in. All the asymmetric, non-linear responses. And you want to break the symmetry in any way, shape, and form you can. Electrically, impedance-wise, wave propagation-wise, switching. You start adding it all up, and then good things start to happen. But Bedini, again, like I said, people don't. It could be as simple as, again, Bedini was trying to figure out what he could run besides batteries. So he was amazed that certain high frequency elements run neons, LEDs, fluorescent lights, but it's not the ideal. Oh, it's direct electricity. It runs my laptop kind of deal, right? And I hinted at that in some other videos. You got to transduce it. It gives you a trigger. The inductive kickback costs you hardly anything. You're recycling a component. So personally, I think that people are wrong, even though it works when they try and charge batteries with the spike. I personally think you're wasting it. If you got a perfectly working Bedini, especially with a multiple coil setup, and you're trying to charge batteries with it, I don't know how to. It's like just trying to do what's in the book and not evolving from it, not making the conclusion. What a person would want to do after that is say, oh, okay, takes very long, but it charges batteries. So what we're going to do is let's use the trigger. It's like you want to start a system and work downhill with it, right? It's like rolling the ball downhill. So use the spike to trigger a resonant LC circuit. High Q, so there's no load on it. If you do a low Q or even a low Z, low winding on the kickback, it's going to absorb it, right? Because there's no potential to it. There's no current to it. So, but if you make like a Tesla coil like setup, it's high Q resonant with a capacitor, then that spike will trigger a displacement field. It will create a real reactive, very strong field with very little trigger. You've created yourself an amplified, localized reactive system with resonance. You've built up the E field and the magnetic field. Now what you got to do is you got another system like Don Smith would do, slow it down, and that becomes real power at a much slower frequency. You have to slow the frequency down. So once you do that, you get a real, and I showed that with a Bedini, with the right LCR system, the spike gives you back that perfect sine wave. So personally, that's how I would have tried to convert it if that was my goal, right, to traditional power. Because it was just running into the same problem Don Smith had, but at a much lower level, right? Don Smith, it's like thousands of volts, the Bedini spike, he was trying to keep it at around, 70-ish to 48. And some people argue that even the high 40 was too much because he was killing his batteries with that. But the point is, more of the same issue, right? It's a different side of the coin. And high frequency, but again, it's really goofy. At around 20K, the skin effect becomes almost unbearable. And it becomes lossy. But you keep going up, you get close to 1 megahertz, 2 megahertz, 20 megahertz, it almost diminishes completely. Then it starts working great again, but at a reduced size. It's easier to couple into. But it becomes discouraging for a while because when you're working at even like 200K and you got coils like this and you're running at the voltages you like to, it's getting into everything. You can't filter it out. Go a little bit up more on the RF. That just, it's like working with AM transmitters and shortwave radios and transmission systems. Much more easy to manage and work with. So I need to look for more equipment here. I keep talking and just, I wonder if anyone's actually listening. I haven't checked the chat. I'm so sorry, folks. It's just, I can't read it from here. And I'm just going live to go live, doing my thing. Totally unscripted. So I'm going to look for more tools here. I shall be right back. Give me a moment. At the same time, I should read the chat a little bit. I read the comments. Yeah, I do, but only once in a while because it's a little laptop. And I need to literally, like now, be in front of it. And I don't think everybody needs a close-up of my face. So Oh, looking for. Can't believe I can't find the markers I want. I have to use the ones I use for my presentations. I just want to mark the coil here. Was what, 22.5? I believe it was. 22.25, that's what it was. 22.25. 1, 2, 3. Let's start where it starts here, right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So 22 right here would be the exact middle. Yeah, okay. So I found the middle. There's a half a turn there. So this here would be half a turn. I'm just trying to mark this so I can have an idea. I started there. So that would mean there is one, there to there, that's half a turn. I just want to try and get this the most symmetrical. It starts there, right at the top. This one here starts right over there. It was a little bent, so I gave it the good old twist. So yeah, I hope everyone's doing okay here. I'm just randomly live here, so sometimes I get carried away here. So again, just saying hello to those who are just joining me here. So basically, I'm just trying to make this is one big coil, and I'm trying to separate them, make an L1 and L2 here. And I'm just trying to find the center. Well, I already found it here, but I'm trying to do it here in a way where this thing's not going to snap at me and I have it right. So over here and over there. So this is where it starts here, and this is where it starts there. It goes forward that way. So the halfway starts there. Then I gotta go back each way. Gotta go back each way from the middle point. which I'll just label here like that. That's the middle point. So backtracking here. Backtracking here. That would be half a turn. Right here. Right there. It's half a turn. Okay. Then we continue on over here. That's one turn. And over here. Continue on. Wish I had these markers there. So yeah, this is just the boring stuff basically. I give myself markers here. Or I could just do it one shot at a time. It's a lot of work though. Maybe it's the better way of doing it. This way here, I know I'm not screwing up. Yeah, okay. Don't mind me, folks. I'm gonna try with this here. All right, so the middle starts there. So this one here is the first one. I'm gonna cut the one here. If I can't even do that. Those are pretty tight. I think these might be too big for that. I might have to, those are way too big. Hold on. Come under here? No. I have other ones. So I'm just trying to cut the wire here and it seems like my cutters are too big. We'll go back to the tools and see what I got. This room here. Maybe I should add cutters on my list. These ones are even bigger. Everything I have is way too big. Maybe these ones. It's not really a cutter for that. It's a wire stripper. Maybe this one here. Man. Oh. I think I got it. Yeah, that's gonna work. Awesome. So there's the halfway point. So right here is half. Almost there. Wow. There we go. Now, just carefully, like that. We're getting there. See? So for those who are wondering, I'm trying to create an L1 and L2, so I'm trying to split it in the middle here. So I was trying to find the right tool to actually cut it here. The first one. So I can turn over here. This one here has to go the same way. Just trying not to break this here. This way there, gotta go. So I'm just trying to grab the other side here and start unwinding it carefully without breaking the whole thing. That would be ideal. There we go. Now, 1, 2, so 1 here. And 1 over here. Okay. So now we have 1 turn. All right. So 1 turn down. So I'm thinking, I don't know, 3.5, 4 turns. There's 1 turn. This one here. So I'm going to take a moment here and not be so antisocial and read how the chat's going here. Hope everyone's doing okay. So awesome. So at least we're still online here, just checking things out real quick. So again, I'm sorry I'm not interacting very much. It's just so difficult to run the laptop and everything. It's right on there for the view, built-in webcam. So I have to literally be like this here. So the joys of live, right? So again, thanks for spending some time here. So reviewing stuff, and I'm just trying to build a coil. It's getting there. All right, that's 2 turns. Got 2 turns done. Then that's just half the work. I got to take this out. And I got to replace that. There's going to be a coil inside of that. Now we're here. Okay, so let's keep on going. Gotta do this very carefully so I don't break this. There's one more. All right, so we're at 3. That's what it's looking like now. I also want to have like a gap there because I'm going to try and center the coil. I don't want another coil directly on top of it. So I'm going to say, so now we're at 3. We're doing 3.5. So I'm going to do 3.5 because it was already like that. All right. I'm just going to make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So 20. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Yeah, that's exactly. All right, good. So we're exactly, it's great. So I'm just gonna do this last one down here. That's correct. So far, there we go. So I got that perfect split. It's kind of stupid though because These two would be the same. If I would do one more turn, they would align. There we go. So I'm going to have to, I guess, think about this one a bit. I'm not sure if I should leave it like that or just complete the turn and have them join down here. It'd be easier for connection purposes. I might just do that. We'll see, but that was the big thing I wanted to do for now. Next is to yeah, I think for the sake of symmetry. Oh, let me go have a drink of soda and think about it. It should be okay like that. I'm just gonna have to. Time for a cold soda. Ah, what a beautiful view of all the snow. And people cry in the United States when they get half a foot, right? My goodness. Maybe I'll be able to open my windows up again one day. I don't even know how long my computer can go. It's on the battery, halfway. I guess I'm going to have to wrap it up soon. I was taking a little break. 12 o'clock, my goodness. So the next step here, too bad I can't reuse these, but is I gotta wind the primary. I wonder what the best way would be. Just use big one like that. Too thin. If I were to put that in there, that's a lot of waste because I only need like 3-4 turns. This one too. Well, actually, since I wasn't going to use it, might be practical. Two well, actually, because see, this is a special coil. I don't know if you see that. It's got like I don't know how to explain it. The windings are more like squares, but they interlock. So it averages out to be like a circle. I think it's by design because I think they use this in antenna tuners, right? That gives it a little groove where the switch can go click, 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 and catch them, right? I think that's what that was for originally. For tuning taps, that's what I'm trying to say. Tongue twister, tuning taps. That's it. That's what you get. And that slightly reduces so you know what? Maybe this will be the right size after all. So I gotta take this piece out now somehow. That's all I need. Go. Hopefully you guys aren't hearing the TV behind me. I also don't want to get in trouble with YouTube. I'm hearing it, so. But if the volume comes through and they hear a copyright something, oh my goodness. Now is to take this out of there somehow, and I think it's glued in there. I just wedged it in there. It's broken anyways. It's pretty tight in there. They really had it just right. Slowly get it. Maybe if I grab a hammer. It's not a workshop, huh? That's the thing. It's not a workshop in here. Exactly what we need. Fix this guy here. Okay. That'll be almost, I think. At first I thought it'd be too small. Now that I look at it, measure it. Measuring tape is right here somewhere. Oof. Oh my goodness. With the hiccups all of a sudden. All right. Let's see. It's about 2.5 inches in there. Clearance. This one here. Just stay. Two. This is a little over 2 inches. Oh, I'd say close enough. It's like difference is this much, really? From there, it's 3 inches. But from there to there, it's I think it's actually going to be that one. So basically, I'm just to myself looking at this coil here, and I was trying to figure out, do I make my own or use something I already have? And this one, ironically, is a piece that I wanted to take out because I just wanted the capacitor, and then I'd stuck with the coil, and it seems to be the right size. So I may like unwind a bunch of them and keep like just a few of them on there. Stick that in there. Look if I have something. This one here, is this one thicker? This one's the same. What I see. Yeah, since it's not. I'm just gonna see what else I got here. Maybe this one. This one. This one's. To maybe glue it up a bit. No, this one here is too. But the base might be good. This one here already has the primary in the middle, but it's only 1 or 2 turns. I asked myself, how did that get in there? How did I, in the world, literally, that must have been a miracle. How did I get that in there? goodness. It's coming. Oh my goodness. This I put nail polish over the wire to give it an insulation. And this one here. So I've got the spark gap. And here, actually, it's 2 turns. This one here. But I don't think this would be close though. Oof. This would have been close. But then I think and join the 2 here. So it's one big coil. Yeah, so I'm just trying to remember what I did with this here. So I got 2 coils. Yeah, so I joined them. This coil here is in a bit of bad shape. It's had better days. But I could keep this piece here. Because it fits in here. Then this could be the driver. Some other project to redo. Oh my goodness, you start something and look at the mess already, right, folks? And I was just saying, I don't have any coils. Isn't that ironic if you just reverse back to the beginning of this conversation? I'm like, I don't know where to find coils to pulse for kickback. Meanwhile, the whole table is full. That's funny. Oh man. So what's next? What's next? Trying to find a way. This one here is the perfect thickness. So I want this to be, for this experiment anyways, to be my L1 and my L2. So now I'm just trying to figure out what's the best thing I can put in there. I'd like to have this one here the right length. Put some layers of tape in there to fatten it up a bit. And then wrap my own. Because as long as it's thick enough to hold in place, and I can still pull it in and out. So I think this one's the best bet. But in a way, I don't know. I don't want to waste this one because it's a nice, it's a high Q coil. A big challenge of finding what I can. I was going to go back to this one here. Add a few layers. I could do that. I think that's what I'm going to do. This one here, like I was originally. Yeah, that seems like a plan. So we're pulling it late night, I guess. Just messing around with this stuff here. And now I need. I thought I had pliers. I guess I didn't bring them. So I'm just dismantling this LC. It was just some spare parts here from an old ham radio tuning. So I don't like reinventing the wheel all the time. I like taking the parts. So this is a perfect 1,500 volts variable adjustable capacitor. Great for tuning, right? Now this is the piece I was looking for right here. Oh. I actually welded the screw. What we're going to do is unwind this carefully. Very, very carefully. Because I want to keep actually, yeah, I need to unwind it completely because I need to make it thicker. And I'll wind it back. All right, this is the piece. All right. So I just want to make it a little thicker. So I've got this sticky tape, double-sided carpet tape, basically. Very sticky. It's good. So that should help keep my wire in place. So I'm just adding thickness in the middle here for my coil to make the coupling close, but not too close, not too far either. Go. Oh. Okay. Try for now. Scissors are over there. So now how well this is going to work. I'm just trying to make my as good as I can here. Right. Something like that. It's not the best, but it's something. So right there in the middle. going to do is... So, yeah, anyways, so I was just working on my primary here, seeing how well it fits in there. So I'm going to... Yeah, I think I'm going to call it quits for tonight. So, my goodness, I guess my kitchen is going to be taken for a while. It was just a little project, and now the whole kitchen is full of stuff. And my battery's almost dead. I'm getting a... See that there? Yeah, my battery's almost dead. So I'm going to have to let you go because my stream's going to kick out here. Yeah. So with that said, again, thank you for watching and spending some time with me. Just randomness here. So until next time all, and have yourselves all a great day. Thanks for watching.